Let's jump right in. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are looking at something that honestly sounds like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood heist movie, but nope, this happened right here in the real world. We're talking about a massive fake hospital racket that was recently unearthed by the police in Gorgaon. And hey, before you think this doesn't affect you, remember, multi-crore thefts exactly like this one are a huge reason why insurance premiums costs keep going up for everyday honest policyholders. So we're going to put on our investigative hats today and break down exactly how a highly organized group managed to allegedly scam insurance companies using bogus doctors, non-existent treatments, and just a massive web of deception. Let's see how they built this empire of fraud. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our blueprint for today. Number 1, the Gorgaon Hospital Raid. 2, the anatomy of the fraud. 3, the missing kingpins. And finally, number 4, following the money trail.
Starting off with Section 1, the Gorgaon Hospital Raid and the uncovering of a facility known as Galaxy 1.
1 crore rupees. I really want to highlight this number right out of the gate because it establishes the bare minimum scale of the fraud that the authorities have found so far. When the police raided Galaxy 1, they actually recovered nearly 60 allegedly fake insurance claim files, and those were linked to around 25 different insurance firms. And remember, that 1 crore figure? It's literally just the beginning of what the police have untangled from this single location.
Now, contrast this for a second. If you went there in person, the physical reality was pretty grim. Just a weathered, rented 3-story building on a main road in Palam Vihar Phase 1. Today, the doors are locked, and there's nothing but some blue signboards even hinting that it used to be a medical facility. But on paper, in the files being sent over to the insurance companies, it was this booming, thriving medical institute. It was successfully generating massive claims for complex surgical procedures, maternal care, non-stop consultations. It's like two completely different worlds. And get this, it wasn't just a one-off operation. During the raid, police arrested the primary operator, a 55-year-old man named A.S. Yadav, along with his 2 sons. As ACP Abhilaksh Joshi revealed, Yadav had built an entire network. He was running 4 other fake hospitals in places like Farrukhnagar and Dwarka. These weren't legitimate businesses that failed, right? They were institutes set up from the very beginning purely as sites designed to defraud.
And check out this timeline, because the duration of the scam is just wild. The initial setup of these fake hospitals began way back in 2018. They operated completely under the radar for years. It wasn't until May 2025 when the Chief Minister's flying squad conducted a raid and found a doctor using MBBS and MD titles without actually having the real degrees that finally sparked an investigation, which led to a formal complaint in February 2026, and then the key raids and arrests late last month. They essentially ran this ghost network for almost 8 years before the net finally closed.
Moving on to Section 2, Anatomy of a Fraud, Deconstructing the Scam. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how they completely bypass the usual systemic safeguards. Normally, in a legitimate claim process, you've got 3 parties. You have the hospital treating the patient, the middlemen processing the paperwork, and the insurance companies who hire private investigators, or PIs, to independently verify everything. It's a system built entirely on checks and balances. But these guys, they created a highly compromised closed loop. A fake hospital staffed by fake doctors sending paperwork straight to compromised PIs who just intentionally greenlit the lies.
Let's speed through their funnel step by step to see exactly how ruthless this was. Step 1, set up a hospital that looks totally legit on paper. Step 2, fabricate a mountain of medical records to simulate actual healthcare. Step 3, find everyday people who are actually willing to act as fake patients using their real Aadhaar cards. And finally, Step 4, have those compromised private investigators inside the insurance pipeline approve the claims without asking a single question. It was literally an assembly line for stealing money.
To pull off Step 2, the paperwork had to be absolutely flawless. The hospital staff, which included 3 arrested employees named Sapna, Varsha, and Gaurav, they worked tirelessly to fake everything. We're talking detailed inpatient admission records, bogus laboratory and diagnostic reports, and heavily padded pharmacy and treatment bills. They literally invented an entire medical history for people who were perfectly healthy.
Which brings us to the staggering number, 500 plus. According to the police, that is the estimated volume of ghost patients involved in this racket.
Over 500 individuals willingly handed over their odd-hard details and let themselves be listed as hospitalized patients with severe ailments. Why? Just for a small cut of the insurance money. So this wasn't just a few bad apples. It was a massive, decentralized network of willing participants.
Okay, Section 3. The missing kingpins. The operators were caught, but the masterminds are still at large.
So, private investigators, or PIs. Usually, these are the third-party agents hired specifically to protect insurance companies from fraud, right? They are the gatekeepers. But the police revealed that the individuals posing as PIs were actually the ultimate kingpins of this entire racket. They were the ones finding compromised doctors, setting up the hospital spaces, and ultimately stamping approved on all those fabricated files. They literally turned the safeguard meant to prevent fraud into the weapon used to execute it.
And this really brings the whole picture into focus. Listen to this quote from ACP Joshi. Yadav was a cog in a large chain. We froze his bank accounts but hardly found any money. See, even though Yadav pretended to hold an MBBS MD degree and ran the physical hospitals with his sons, he wasn't the guy keeping the lion's share of the cash. He was essentially just a floor manager. The true masterminds, those compromised PIs holding the purse strings, are still out there.
And that leads us to our final section, following the money trail and tracking the cash. So why is this money trail so incredibly hard for the special investigation team to trace? Well, look at the payout funnel. When the insurance company paid out, the money went directly into the fake patient's real bank account. The patient took their predetermined cut, sure, but the rest of the money? It wasn't conveniently wired over to the kingpins. No, it was immediately withdrawn and moved around purely in cash. Because the funds were scattered across hundreds of patient accounts and then converted into untraceable paper money, the police are now trying to piece together this highly fragmented financial puzzle.
But there is a real beacon of hope here. The police intend to make this one of the very first large-scale cases in the country to use their new powers under Section 107 of the BNSS. This provision actually gives law enforcement the power to attach, auction, or dispose of the scammer's assets to financially compensate the victims, which, in this case, are the defrauded insurance firms. So they aren't just looking to put people in jail, they are actively looking to seize their assets and claw back that stolen cash.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. With over 500 fake patients, multiple ghost hospitals, and the true mastermind PIs still at large holding all that cash, just how deep does this multi-crore medical network really go? It's a pretty chilling reminder of the vulnerabilities in the systems we rely on every single day. If you found this breakdown insightful and want to keep unraveling the truth behind the biggest financial schemes out there, make sure you become a subscriber to the channel, The Paisa Files. We've got plenty more deep dives coming your way. Thank you so much.